Building downtown. Building downtown. Building
Hey, yo, it's The Building Downtown. You can follow us on social media at The Building DT. You can follow and subscribe to the show on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm your host, Jason Kelly. You can follow me at JKellyMMA. You can follow my co-host, Kirill Kasatskiy, at Kirill Raps, KRILRAPS. And my other co-host, Amy Barton, at Ames Bell, AMESBELLE. So today we have a return guest. It was great last time we had him on. He holds the second longest record next to Poison Pen. It was a great time. Hopefully Amy has a better line of questioning this time, because last time it was pancakes versus waffles versus overdosing. Shit went everywhere. Another nice addition is we got Kirill here tonight, so we get to hear two hip-hop artists talk about the process of making albums and everything else. He is the Rooster. He is back. Oh no, what's up, my man?
What's going down, baby?
Nice to have you back here. So the album is out. What is the feedback?
That's right.
What's the feedback been like?
Man, it's been underwhelming and overwhelming. It's been incredible. Like, people, it's the strongest. So technically the album actually comes out on the 26th on all digital streaming platforms. I did a pre-release on Bandcamp to give my diehard supporters, and I have like a super crazy cult following fan base, and wanted to give them access and give them a chance to support directly and buy the album from me, so I could, get as much of the revenue directly from them and use that to not only survive and continue to eat pancakes and not overdose, but also get some cool merch printed up and get some vinyl in motion and things like that, which I really feel like this project deserves. But I mean, a lot of people are saying that it's their favorite album of the year, my best album. I mean, people are it's everything I could possibly ask. They're going through a whole modicum of emotions and experiences. It's kind of a difficult question because I've been putting out independently produced projects since before the popularization of the internet, since the early 2000s, 2001. I think I put out my first tape. As far as what you could find online, I think I have there's Gold Bricks in the Wall, there's Above the Devil, there's Kennedy Benz, there's A Saint and a Tyrant, there's there's Music for Dope Runs. So 5 solo albums and about 5 or 6 group albums and collaborations, if not more.
You said those were independent. Is this one dependent?
Well, this is actually being put out through Sony Orchard. Not all those are independent. Also, I have a couple that have been on different labels and stuff. But yeah, this is coming out through HYAMS Distribution, which is a subsidiary of Sony Orchard.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I have to agree with the people that say that this is your best work of art yet. Going into this, it's not like you fucking try to hide this. You were fucked up for a long time. You went into a treatment center and you've been killing it since you came out and sticking to sobriety. How much of this material is from when you were still using, and how much of it is since you came out?
There's only 2 songs on this project that I recorded since I got out. The rest of it was recorded during my darkest days, literally the depths of my spiritual disease and most dysfunctional period of my life, in between August and January 2019 to the beginning of 2020. So you really are getting a real glimpse into the working mind of someone consumed by desperation, addiction, paranoia, pain, reflecting on the entire history of my life and what got me to that point. And then you kind of have a slight glimmer of hope and glimpse into my current mind state because the whole point of the album is really, it's my story. It's a testament of everything that I've been through in my life, unapologetic, everything that I've been insecure about, scared to talk about, things that I everything that I don't want to say, I said it on this record, and put, from family relations to relationships to my whole experience in the streets and the dysfunction that's brought into my life, my upbringing, my current situation. I laid it all out, and what it really is, it's like, a testimony that if I could make it through these circumstances and survive and be in a better place, then you can too. Like the album is created for people that are really, I want everyone to enjoy it, but in particularly, I feel like it resonates stronger with people who are struggling with their own issues, be it addiction or financial situations or, whatever it is. Like that's what it's kind of like a survival manual.
So you've been sober for a year now, right?
Yeah.
Congrats, man. So why does it take a year for you to release this thing if you say you recorded most of it still being high, right? How long was the treatment? How long was your treatment, if you don't mind me asking?
I was in treatment for 4 months.
4 months.
And then I was in sober living for 2 months after that. It's a really good question. And so like
the reason I'm asking is because I just went through one.
Oh, hey, welcome back, baby.
Yeah. Thanks, bro. I go for dives, you know what I mean? Hopefully I'm not going for another one.
That's it, man. You know what I'm saying? Stay on the path. I believe in you, Kirill.
Thanks.
But
man.
this was so initially I wanted to have this out in early 2020, actually. And the night before I went into treatment, I was in the studio recording what I thought was the last record on the album, and was, this was
so
like
none of this shit is mixed before you go in. It's just recorded.
A lot of the tracks were mixed, but they weren't in their final mix yet, and nothing was mastered yet. And if you notice when you listen to the album, I put a great deal of care into the sound design. It's not just rapping on
I have
beats,
a lot of questions about that too. Yeah, but
we could talk all about that. There's a lot of different samples that have trajectory. I want to, I'm influenced by the classic albums from the golden era of hip hop that I grew up on. And I feel like that's something that's really missing. And what I was doing is I was kind of creating my own genre, my own brand of hip hop, which is rooted in that golden era aesthetic, but it's got like a real cinematic quality to it. So I call it LA Noir Audio Cinema. And that's kind of
that's a good name for it, though. It fits.
Word. No, thank you. And that's so that's like the whole vibe that I was putting into the album. And it was supposed to, like, I had talked to my fiance and we had plans for it to, because she just had to record one hook for it, and then it was going to be coming out at some point when I was in treatment. And then, like, that didn't wind up materializing. And at a certain point, I realized on the advisement of the treatment center and everyone that I was talking to that I needed to just focus on getting my head right. The album is still there. It's something I knew. It wasn't like riding the wave of a contemporary sound, which was going to be antiquated and dated if I didn't rush it out. Like, this is something that I know is going to be dope 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years from now. You know what I mean?
Like, no, not that you say that your process was so long, as in 4 months and then two more months, right? I just because it's not my first time, you know what I mean? I just did 20 days and I'm doing good after it, you know what I mean? Because I just snapped back in, you know what I mean? My problem was dives. But now I understand, because 6 months out of that, you were doing your thing, right? Getting your mind straight. Then it takes you about 6 months to get shit together if you want it to sound properly. So that's like,
that's what it was. And I had moved out, like my treatment center, the studio and everything in my whole life was in LA. My treatment center was in Texas, and then I moved to the East Coast to Philadelphia. So like just to get to the studio, it's like would require a 5-hour flight at that point. So and then luckily, kind of out of nowhere, a situation emerged actually through my fiance. She knew a dude named Rob Schwartz with HUMAG distribution, and Rob, actually, he's got a rich history in the hip hop game. He was one of the A&Rs that worked on Mobb Deep's debut album. Mobb Deep's my favorite group of all time. And before they put out the infamous on Loud Records, they were on Polygram, and they had an album called Juvenile Hell. Right, which, only had a couple songs that really glimpsed at the amazing group that they would soon after become. But, so he worked with them. He worked with a lot. His history in the culture is incredibly deep. He A&R the Blase Blah, When the East is in the House. Oh my God, danger. Like, he worked on some crazy records that influenced me growing up. And he heard so through my fiance Marissa, she showed him my music. He loved it, signed me within a matter of days, and the situation just made perfect sense to put the album out then.
So wait, you keep bringing her up, and she recorded a hook, but I think we'd be remiss for not mentioning that she's also EP.
She's what?
Also an EP on the album, is she not?
Oh, she is, and yes, she is an executive producer. Because if it wasn't for her, the album wouldn't have come out like I did. Like, I got my got a lot better as far as my ability to rap. Like, she's an incredible vocalist and vocal producer. And she was with me for 98% of the sessions of the album, and literally would kind of be drilling me like, yo, like, you could do that take better, like, do it more like this. So she really helped, and I've become a much better artist as a result. And like, literally, like, that the song that she's on, which coincidentally was the last record I recorded before I went to treatment, she was back in Philly and on a FaceTime, literally, like, over the phone, helping produce that record as I recorded it. So yeah, it wouldn't have been the same without Marissa, 100%.
So with the when you had so much recorded, so much written, and then you basically sat on it for almost a year, did you have did you go through ups and downs? The material is already there, but like, thinking at times like, oh, when I release this shit, it's over. And then at times be like, well, maybe I should never even release it. Maybe I should just put it away in the vault. Like, did you have ups and downs like that? Cause it sat for so long.
Yeah, I knew the whole time I was going to put it out. There wasn't ever a doubt in my mind. There's definitely periods of trepidation and fear, just because I was like, a lot of people, my fan base in particular, was really anticipating it. They'd seen me teasing snippets for a while. I put out a couple videos for it. So people were amped on it. But then I was kind of scared, like, what if this isn't what I think it is? What if it doesn't resonate the way that I know that it should? And that kind of, like, I was afraid, but I was already so committed to it. There's nothing that was going to stop that. Like, when I was recording that album, I was at a point in my life where I was like, even though I had this amazing relationship with this girl and this seemingly cool stuff going on, I was completely demoralized. I was like very depressed and didn't care if I died. And the way that I was using drugs, I was gambling. I was rolling the dice every time I put something in my system.
Oh,
and I didn't care what there was. In fact, I was almost welcoming it. I had been welcoming death for a long time before she came along. Like, I was damn near, not suicidal, but actively romanticizing
That's what
the
it is,
idea.
man. That's what I've been saying too. Having so much in front of me and just thinking maybe tonight's the night. Up, fuck it, let's go.
Right, you know what I mean? Die young, leave a beautiful corpse. And that was something that I glamorized. I was like, I'm meant to die like a rock star. It is what it is. So you would even hear me allude to that. I have a lot of lines on the album, like long life, probably something that I won't have. Like, I'm literally talking about that shit throughout. So, like, when I was recording it,
you're not wrong when you're.
I wanted this album to be what people remembered me for when they looked back and were like, oh, he was such a great guy and an incredible artist, and all the people that never gave a fuck about me would hop on the dick inevitably. That would be the frame of reference that they would go to.
This is your memoirs,
right? That's what it was. And then
no shit, eh?
And then
but that's it. There's so much truth to it, because if you're getting as high as you're saying, obviously you were getting really high, right? You are almost dying, so you're feeling it, right? Any fucking night could have been the last one.
Right. And
any pill, any line, any fucking whatever the fuck it is, you know what I mean? It could have been the last one at any point.
And I've had more overdoses than I'm even aware of. So, like,
I know about that too, man.
I've been brought back to life numerous times, and that I wasn't even aware of. And then people telling me crazy stories in the morning, and there's always Narcan in my house just in case. And I kept enough people around me as to where, like, if I was all by myself, I probably would have been dead by now, 100%. So, but at a certain point, when I was in treatment, I realized, like, no, this album isn't something I want to leave behind as a testament of my life. It's something that I want to leave as a testament of my growth and recovery. And
something I got over, right? Yeah.
A catalyst for becoming a complete person.
So back to positive. With this album, like, you have, how many did we count, Kelly? We got like 5 or 6 producers on it.
I think so. How many producers you got on this, Lush?
I think, it might even be more. It might be like 7 or 8. Like, yeah.
So that's a crazy number of people for 15 songs, I think. I don't know. You know what I mean? And also at the same time, I've listened through all of the album, not thoroughly, you know what I mean? But we've listened through it, and then I've heard a couple of separate songs. Like Mad Deep, when it just came out, I fucking loved it. You know what I mean? Too bad I missed the first show. You know what I mean? That's my jam right there. But I was gonna say, the album seems to have the same vibe through it. You know what
right.
I mean? Did you have like a pack of samples you gave to different producers, or how the fuck how did they, you know what I'm saying? How did it kept it not only the same vibe, but feel like it's also similar samples? Bro.
Well, yeah, that was very intentional. I think nowadays it's not that unique to have several producers on a single project, but
what is surprised it doesn't sound like a salad.
Right. Like what is unique is being able to maintain a vibe throughout it. You know what I mean? And like, I'm glad that translated, and I appreciate you saying that, because it was I was just very, very particular about the sound I was going for, and some producers were specifically crafting beats for the projects, and then there were others that I just picked out of every single producer I worked with on this project is not random people. I wasn't like going on BeatStar trying to buy beats. I wasn't they're all people that I'm close with.
But it's still a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's still
100%.
Still a lot of people to keep that fucking to keep the same sound through. That's what I'm saying. Because I remember when Jay and Puff made the American Gangster. Puff brought him a pack of samples and saying I was trying to executive produce you, and Jay started laughing that you can't executive produce, some shit like that. I remember it was a thing. But the whole American Gangster thing, throughout the beats, it's the same sample pack.
Right. Yeah. And that's, it was all like, I chose every single sample on the project and really thought, and not just for the actual beats, but like all the sound effects, the whole sound design. And that's what makes it LA Noir audio cinema. It's like,
that's why I said it fits layers. Because I understand what you're saying. As soon as I heard throughout the whole thing, I was just like, that name fits.
Word. No, I appreciate that. I think that, it's a lot of people, I know it's a big undertaking to listen to a complete project nowadays, and that's outside the box, but everything down from the way it's sequenced, the order of the songs, it's all super methodical, and it's meant to be absorbed all in one sitting if possible, like watching a movie.
That's pretty much what I did, and I listened to it a bit differently than everybody else because I'm involved in it too, right? Like I got so involved in it now that I do also go from fucking samples and sound to beat, you know what I mean, to guiding my beat maker and all kinds of stuff. So I listen to it a bit differently. That's why I notice these things right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you caught that, bro. You got a good ear. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like, I think that when I think about it, it is crazy that I was, especially when most producers nowadays aren't even making traditional classic boom bap beats that would be at home on a, Black Moon or Mobb Deep or MOP record in the mid 90s. Most people are making 808 heavy trap beats and shit like that, which is, which I've fucked with in the past, but that was not what I was going for. And that's not the sound that makes me shine and enables me to be my truest self. So, I had to be very particular about the production.
You definitely did a good job, bro, because, like with your voice and shit, the way you pick beats, it works. And it seems like it's mixed with somebody who has hands, you know what I mean? Because I heard a couple of a couple of albums come out that just sound horrible. The sound seems right. It mixed properly. It flows. Everything seems to be good. Like I said, Mad Deep is just my favorite one. And I didn't have enough time to have more opinions on other songs. You know what I mean? We just flipped through it, right?
No. Well, I feel like Mad Deep is Matt Deep is
I heard Matt Deep multiple times already. You know what I mean?
that's the one that I recorded. That's one of the songs that I recorded since I've gotten out of treatment. It's one of the more recent records that I've recorded, and it has although it still has dark content and I'm saying some grimy shit, I'm doing it in a way where it's like a lot more palatable and accessible, especially than the rest of the album. And it's kind of
bumpy, bro. It makes me want to, you know what I mean? It makes me want to bump my head and shit. Like it's nice, and I feel what you're saying. It's nice. I told Kelly it reminds me of Tribe Quest somewhat. You know what I mean? It's got that sort of vibe.
Yeah, I was saying that to Lush last time.
I hope you take it the right way. You know what I mean?
No, I take that as a huge compliment. But yeah, it's like if Tribe Quest
feel, you know what I mean? It's not the lyrics, it's not the flow, it's just the feel of the music and the way you fit into it. It really reminded me of Tribe Quest back in the day.
It's a Tribe Called West. You feel me?
Oh shit.
But yeah, that's the so I was very like that album. That's like the single, you know what I mean, and that's kind of to draw people in and
talking about
absorbing the entire story. It's kind of like a summary of the entire album, but it's like, yo, that's all the shit I went through, and now I'm on a different tip, and I'm moving onward and upward, and that's kind of what the vibe of Mad Deep was. And you know, I got to give a shout out to my boy Alexander Brown who produced that record, but also to my boy Jordan River Recordings, Vodka the Grouch, who recorded and engineered and mixed the entire album pretty much, and was highly instrumental in just dictating the sonic tapestry of the record. So, you know, I got a lot of love.
No, it's nice, man. I am very surprised that so many people made the record that has like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like that Dre vibe or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? It has like it has a single producer vibe, and it's so many people. So kudos on that, man. And since you mentioned producer or singles, I mean, there was one visual, I think. Are you making any more?
Yeah. So so the visual I recently put out, actually, Bright Angel Fallen, that's not on the album. That's for an EP. No, me and Chase Moore are dropping an EP in a couple months, in April actually, called Horatio's Ski Resort. And on that EP, that's one of the records for that. I have a Mad Deep video dropping in a couple weeks on the 17th.
Nice.
I have another visual for the Amends to My Mom and Dad, which is animated footage compiled from old film noir movies. I have two other ones that are already online that you can see that I released last year. There's a one for I Ain't Been the Same Since, and one for Foreign a Baby as well. And so I have all those, and I have another video for a different project I'm doing with my boy Ricky Mars as well. So I have a whole bunch of new visuals coming out. The reason why I dropped the one that I did, the Bright Angel Fallen one, just because I felt like it was a really strong visual to reintroduce me to and my whole visual content, because I hadn't put out too much for a while. So that was kind of like my favorite one to kind of knock him dead with. And I'd already put out the Mad Deep single, so I was like, you know what, let me give him something else. I don't want to burn him out. And then now that the album is out and about to be dropping on all digital platforms, boom, let me give him the Mad Deep video too. So you'll be getting that real soon.
What are some of the things you wish you could have changed, added? Were some things in the works? Were the tracks left behind? Like, what were some of the things, looking back in retrospect, that you wish could have happened for this project that didn't?
There's literally only one thing that I would change, and it's something that bugged the shit out of me. Like, I put so much into the like I said, the sonic tapestry, all like the subtle details, and there's like a lot of different, like, anytime if you would hear if you hear me say like reference a gun or some shit, very often you'll hear a gun going off in the background. If you know, when I say like Ronald Reagan told us lies, so did Nancy too, then you hear Nancy Reagan saying, just say no. You feel me? Like, it's all right there. Like, you hear when I say Apollo 13, I can't let my mission stop, you hear the actual sample from Apollo 13 from the space shuttle mission. You're Houston, we have a problem. Like, you hear all that shit. So there's one sample, and it was actually just a whistle on the track called You See What the Fuck Going On. I have one bar where I'm talking about whistling, and I had a whistle there, and I loved the way it sounded. And for some reason, when the final mixes got bounced down, it wasn't there, and the album had already been mastered. So it would have been so much of a process for me to go back and add that one whistle. It's not worth it, but
it drives you nuts.
It bugs you.
Oh, it bugs me so bad. Like my
Yo,
girl is.
Since you mentioned samples, what about the sample in song number 14? I couldn't say that. So
Fire in My Bloodline. I assume that's what that translates into.
Yeah. Fuego and Mi Sangre.
I wasn't even gonna attempt that. So you know what I mean.
I told Kirill's Russian ass. I was like, "You fucking pronounce it."
So
we both.
But anyways, there's a Young Buck sample in there. Did you clear that, or did you just use it?
I'm snitching.
We're gonna have to edit that part out.
Nah, you can leave it in. No, it's fine. But I circumvented all sample laws as far because of the way that it's timed and switched. Like, you know, I changed the pitch on everything. I used just below the amount of time.
I'm asking for a friend.
So yeah, like there's ways to be creative and still use the samples you want. Like if I had looped the whole song, it would have been a different story, and then already wouldn't have gotten through it already wouldn't have gotten through when I submitted it to obviously an outlet like Sony's looking out for shit like that. So yeah, I did it in a slick way, snuck it in there.
No, that's nice. That's what I mean. That's why I wanted to know how exactly, because I imagined that sample, because it's a major, would be a fucking problem.
There's a couple other ones I did that are like that as well. If you listen closely,
it's just something I recognize because I'll really fuck with Young Buck. You know what I mean? That's why I was
word. Yeah,
I noticed that right away.
Yeah, I thought you were going to talk about like that song. Actually, the beginning of that record. That's my grandmother, who's been dead for over 13 years. My grandmother's on the intro of that record, and you hear my dad actually on the outro for an interview that he did. So that's like, I kept it really close. Like that's a record about my family, and I literally put my family on there. So it's kind of crazy.
Oh shit,
certainly. And we just mentioned. Like Kirill said about the Young Buck sample, and you use that throughout the album on some other songs. In Death Row with Respect for Biggie, it's used like 2 or 3 times. Not the same sample, but I mean different things, is it not?
There's a Dre sample on there at one point.
Yeah, there's a couple others, isn't there? Or is that the only one?
No, I only used the Young Buck joint once because I say
I know you didn't reuse that. I'm just saying, like on the Death Row with Respect for Biggie, didn't like that same type of thing where you clip in like an old sample?
Yes, I do that on a lot of different records on there. You'll peep, you know what I mean? Like if you listen to Athena, I do that a few times. I got the Method Man and Mary J one. I got the Travis Scott sample actually is on there as well.
Okay, that's what I'm mixing it up with. I knew there was one that used at least 2. So it's at Athena. What did Marissa charge you for the feature?
Man, I'm still paying. You feel me? I'm still paying. That's a lot of back rubs.
Shit.
That's a lot of back rubs.
Putting that on layaway. What was the process like? I know obviously, like you were saying to Kirill earlier that it's not like you just went out and bought beats from producers you never worked with. You know these guys. You have a massive network. Putting this together, obviously you lean on the people you know, getting the support you can, working with homies, longtime partners, whatever it is. How much like financially did you have to put into this project?
I didn't have much at the time. You know, I haven't been dealing dope for a couple of years.
Well, that's good news.
Haven't been hustling, you know what I mean? So I've been, now I'm starting to finally glimpse at some money again as a result of this music thing. The only income I've had in the past couple of years is through music and hosting battle rap events. Mm-hmm. So at the time I didn't have really anything, but everything I had, I put into that record.
All right. Yeah. So I wasn't looking for an actual like dollar figure, but that's more so what it was. Just, you know, having a good network of people that are close to you that work. What's that?
Good connection sounds like.
Yeah. That like support you. So as you
people that, you know, I was very fortunate that everybody that I worked with pretty much all saw the vision, and I didn't need to. it really didn't stress me too much financially, as far as like I was, I'm making sure everyone's getting taken care of, especially now that it's coming out through an outlet, and I got a deal for it. So that kind of changed the dynamic a little bit, but I think people believed in it and saw what I was doing, and all these, people like Chase and Marv and, people like that, SM and all, they know that when I put my mind to something, that I'm pretty, I get tunnel vision, and I'm pretty stubborn. I don't take no for an answer. And if I want something to happen, I'm gonna make it happen. And the way I've been laser type, almost like frighteningly focused on my craft and my art, they saw something in it, and they wanted to be a part of it. And I'm very fortunate for that everybody believed in me and wanted to get it lit like that. And
how many people did you have mixing and mastering this thing?
Just one.
That's what it is.
Yeah. They and that's been.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna tell me 7 people there too, I'm gonna be just like, what?
Nah. And I think that's something that like I said, my boys Jordan River Recordings, who I did the entire album with, and he's also, his producer moniker is Vodka the Grouch, so he produced 3 of the records himself, and then a bunch of the other records we would add additional production, and kind of like, just to make the drums sound similar on every joint, we would add like our own drums on top of some of the beats and shit like that. So we really wanted it to sound like it was, actual music, like it's a band playing, you know what I mean? Not like, but still preserving the quality of it being sample based. I really wanted it because I love that sound. Really what it was, I was like, okay, this is a film and we're scoring this film. And that's why I look at it as audio cinema. My older brother's a filmmaker and my dad's a filmmaker. I'm 4th generation in the entertainment industry. So I was kind of paying homage to my roots as being in the world of film through this medium of hip hop.
No, you definitely accomplished something there. It sounds like, this is what I mean. I'm gonna repeat it again, I guess. It has a sound. Like albums back in the day, it had a sound. Public Enemy had a sound. Ice Cube had a sound. You know what I mean? And it has a sound, and it seems like you're making it your own, and it's working, man. I'm sorry, but I haven't heard your work before, so I have nothing to compare to. But this seems like it works. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad you fuck with it, dude. I really am. And moving forward, I would say that we could expect a lot more of the same. It's more of a departure to some of my earlier work, like my 2008 album Music for Dope Runs, which kind of has a similar aesthetic to that, except for just it's more like, instead of on some film noir shit, it's more like some dusty 1960s and 70s drug running type aesthetic, but still the same cinematic vibe. And then my 2011 record, Gold Bricks in the Wall. But the difference is now I'm a lot better at my craft, and I've just evolved enormously. And in between this,
take practice and experience to accomplish something like this.
Yeah, like that's something I feel like a lot of people get afraid of getting older in hip hop. I'm 39 years old now. Been doing this since I was a kid. It's not like fucking playing basketball or you know what I mean, or a sport. Like you don't need to be in the prime of your life physically. Like, we get better the older we are at creative pursuits, and the more I'm just way deeper into my craft. Look at rappers like Black Thought, you know what I mean? He's like 50 years old. He raps better than everybody on the planet.
That's true.
And the thing about him, though, he was just as wise when he was like 22. That was a scary thing about him. I remember being a teenager when they first came out, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm used to fucking gin and juice. Not the shit that makes you think like that, right? Putting down shit that's like, hold on. What did he say?
No, he was always nice. He was always an amazing rapper, but he's gotten exponentially better.
Oh, for sure.
Like the type of shit he's doing now is way better than anything he was doing on Illadelph Half-Life or Do You Want More? And it's like, and it's, to me, that's super inspirational. And I think the difference between him and a lot of other rappers of his same age group are he just kept doing it and kept pursuing the art of taking his lyricism and vocal techniques to the next level. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not stopping. I'm not getting lazy. I'm getting more and more inspired and trying to stay as active as possible. That's why why I have another project dropping soon and a lot more after that, because I'm, I figured this is what I do. This is what I'm meant to do. Let me do it to my utmost ability and not take any shorts. And regardless of how much I continue to evolve or, certain projects coming up, which might be even more banging, there's something special about this HYAMS album. And I know that it's going to, people are going to reference it for a long time. And once people really catch wind of this project, I'm confident that it's going to solidify me in a higher echelon of artistry and the way people look at me,
You got this one out now. You got 6 more coming this year. You're afraid to burn out and get repetitive?
No, I mean, that's a good question. No, because the thing is this, like, I'm not someone that needs to force any specific topics. If you notice, I'm not one of these dudes. Like, there's no songs about how good I rap. I just let my bars speak for themselves. You could hear the wordplay. You could hear the syllables. You could hear all the things that other rappers that I just are doing. But I don't need to reference it, because that's just what I'm doing. I'm telling actual stories of my life. And that's all that I'm drawing from, is the experiences of what I've went through. You know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, who knows, maybe I will burn out, but right now, like, while I'm in this wave, while I'm in, like, it's like I'm surfing and I'm in the fucking crest of the wave, and it's like a tidal wave, like about to crash and kill thousands of people on Venice Beach or Hawaii or some shit. Like, I gotta ride this thing to the shore 100%. And I have my life, there's a myriad of experiences for me to experiment with. Like, I could talk about so many things that I've been through, because my life experience is a lot of that's the content that a lot of these other rappers are fabricating and talking about, like, their fake depression and fake addiction and fake struggles. Like, I really actually lived that shit. So
I feel like I'm interviewing myself.
No shit.
I made this shit for people like you, bro. If that resonates, that's who I'm talking to. You are my core audience for this, for what I'm doing. People that are going through this, who understand that, who has a voice like that, is, you can hear the pain in my voice, and you know that what I'm saying is real, and you can tell when I make certain references. You can't make this shit up. This isn't something you could look up in a damn fucking Wikipedia entry or a comic book. You know what I mean? Like, this is my damn life.
It's you just said, you make this music for people just like Kirill. Not his entire catalog, but it's like fucking he makes music for people just like you. Like Kirill just said, it's like he's interviewing his fucking self. And it's not like you guys make the exact same music and the content's
not about the
exact
music, it's
same.
about the story you're saying, the whole everything from
and the way you guys put it into music with the darkness
everything.
to paint the picture, and like you're into like the boom bap, and like that's you spot on, Kirill.
Yeah. I'm a peep of Krill's music for sure.
What was I gonna say? Something.
It was something.
Videos, getting them done, like you were saying, the network. Chase more, whoever for producers. Even times you've had features on past albums and stuff. It's from your network. It's not so much a dollar figure. But what about when it comes to filming videos? Do you have are you at the point where you same thing, networking? Or
it's the same thing. Like, one of my best friends
is it? You're not outsourcing and finding different videographers to shoot your videos?
Absolutely not. My boy, we're all part of a crew, a family, a cult called 667 Cult. That's me, Bobby Butcher, Ilmac, Chase Moore, Fredo, my boy Zoo. And my boy Chef Boy Bones. There's a couple other of us too, but my boy Zoo is one of the best. He's like a fucking prodigy. Dude's like 25, 26 years old, and he makes the best. He's the best at making videos in all of LA. So I got really lucky, and I beg him to. Not to put business on blast, but I constantly beg him to let me pay him to do videos, and he just believes in the vision and wants to work with me. You know what I mean? So we make it make sense. I might need to sneak him a PayPal pretty soon or some shit.
Send him something for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. I'll fucking give him the dick in a box. He's so damn good. You feel me?
What have you ever? I assume you must have, or at least have an idea of trying to outsource for videos or see what a price would be. And we're not talking fucking Hype Williams and Dr. Dre, right? Like, artists coming up, artists, making content that's not hitting mainstream airwaves, so to speak. LA, California, what are the prices like for someone in your position right now if you didn't have a goddamn person?
Oh, the quality videos I'm getting, it'll probably cost a couple racks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, eh?
And to me, like, it's not even about the money. Like, I'm a hustler. I'll fucking sell a ketchup popsicle to a bitch wearing white gloves. So at the end of the day, that's not like, if it comes down to a financial thing, I'll make it happen. But I don't really feel the need. I like to create and be creative with the people that I'm close with, and we just happen to all be really creative individuals. And that's that's we work together well. It's like, we found each other. It's like we're like aliens walking around the planet, and then everyone we're looking through every other human being, not like they're peasants, but they're humans and we're aliens. And then we noticed each other and we're like, oh shit, it's one of me. And then we just clicked up,
You guys attract to each other, gravitate to each other.
That's what it was, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm so grateful. These are things that make my gratitude list all the time. The people that I work with, the people that I'm close with, these are people that I love, that I would take a bullet for. So it goes way deeper than just our bond creatively. Like, these people have been there when I was struggling, been there when I was overdosing, and brought me back to life during my darkest hours. And so we love each other, and like, I'd be down to work with other people in certain situations if it made sense, but it's not something I'm seeking out or feel like is a void at all. Like, to me, it's always been like, I go step by step towards reaching a goal. And if it's like, okay, whenever there's an obstacle, I'll address it then, but there's no obstacle there. So it's nothing that needs to be addressed.
Well, I mean, that's even the list of people you named is a solid list. And then outside of that, I know your network runs deep. So I don't argue the point of why you would do that, but like the things like getting features, buying beats, shit like that. How crazy does that price get when it's not, like I said, the Dr. Dre level, whatever, and not just working with your homie? Because like, you working with Chase Moore is a legit producer. I can't see Chase Moore just fucking throwing beats to any motherfucker who comes near him. That's got to cost.
He's definitely
right?
not.
Right. So someone of his caliber, if you didn't know him, like what
he's charging people like $1,000 per beat, what I mean? More.
So that's
like, and like, you got him, you're like my boy, formerly known as Bobby Butcher, now known as Baby Franco Chain, the originator of 667 Cold. Like, that dude, to get him on a hook or a verse would be the same, if not more. To get Ilmac on a verse would be the same, if not more. Like, to get me on a verse would be the same. Like, it's like, you got to understand, these are relationships that go back longer
decades.
Like, I've been homies with Ilmac since the early 2000s. I've been making music with Chase since 2007. So, you're talking 14 years now. Like, we go back, so it's a lot deeper. But and I think that's one of the reasons why I don't want to say this in a discouraging way, because I believe everybody has the right to be creative. Everybody has the right to contribute a verse and to be heard and to get their vision out. But that doesn't mean that everyone's necessarily meant to do that. And a lot of people that are spending all their fucking money paying other people to do it, like, I'm not trying to talk down on them, but it's like, are you sure? Like, I'm questioning your motives at a certain point. Like, what are you doing? Are you just seeking validation? Are you just doing this
at the same time? A lot of trash makes it, but some fucking reason.
That's true too. You know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, a lot of trash makes it, but there's something about those quote unquote trash artists that resonate with people, whether it's something that they make people feel cool, the way they dress, the way they present themselves. Being an artist is way more than just writing bars and rapping.
I don't know. I have this stereotypical picture of a rapper. And it just doesn't fucking fit. Nothing
Big
that's
gold
going on.
chains.
No, but not
Tupac
even that.
bandana.
To me, like if you're maybe an
I'm fucking
entertainer
around.
of some sort, but now you're taking rap and turning it into something different because if you want to be called a rapper, you have to be able to rap. And a lot of the shit
Right.
that's out there is just not rap, bro. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, and I agree with you. I try not to get critical of anybody else's music. At the end of the day, it's not for me to decide. If people like it, then they like it. That's dope. Whether I like it or not, I'm in a spiritual place in my life, so I don't talk down about any other artist or anyone trying to do their thing, especially if they're able to feed their family off of it. That's amazing. That's the dream. More power to them. But
then you get shit like Takashi talking about guns, having steering all kinds of millions of youth the wrong way, ratting and producing all that kind of negativity by being popular and literally creating trash fucking music that has 4 bars in a fucking 3-minute song.
No, you're right, and I feel what you're saying, and I don't condone whack shit at the end of the day, but and that's a solid point. But like a lot of people, they're not looking for the same level of entertainment. They're just looking for something mindless to get them through the monotony of the day. They don't care about the intricacies of dope emceeing and they might not want to give a fuck about what I have to say as a result, because they're just looking for not everybody wants a filet mignon. Some people want a Happy Meal, and there's music for every purpose. And at the end of the day, whatever their
everything's not for everybody. I agree. It's just some shit just makes me mad sometimes.
No, I get it, but it's at the end of the day, okay, I'm just glad that people want to hear me, and I'm glad that and that I have a voice that resonates for the people. That's not something I take for granted. You know what I mean? And whatever it is, there's kids that resonate with. Just there's a lot of people who maybe the stereotypical rapper, whatever that is, or I don't look like that. I don't sound like that. I don't move like that. So there's people that I appeal to more that are thinking outside the box and looking outside the box. I'm just glad to be in the conversation.
But you do.
You know what I mean?
You rap. You are part of a culture. You write bars that make sense. You fit a certain. You know what I'm saying? You do what a rapper is supposed to do. You have your own sound. What do you mean?
Yeah, you are the epitome of hip hop, Lush.
I'll take that. But at the end of the day,
what I'm supposed to do. I'm talking about shit that don't make sense. You know what I mean? You're saying that I might not be a stereotypical rapper. You are, to me, anyways. In a sense.
Well, I will take that, and I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, if I'm a 39-year-old white dude, you know what I mean? That is outside the box for what traditional hip hop looks and sounds like. That's not what I tend to listen to. That's not what I tend to be attracted to. So the fact that I'm able to still have a voice that's relevant in the culture, and you know what I mean? It means a lot to me, and I do not take that for granted. And I recognize my place in this culture, and it's a privilege and it's an honor for me to be a part of it. I really, what other people listen to and what they choose to listen to, I can't let that get to me. I totally feel what you're saying, Kirill. It used to bother me too, and I'd be like, oh, I'm so much better than this guy and this or that. But at the end of the day,
it's not the fact that I'm better. It's the fact that something that's being popular, something that I love, is steering people the wrong fucking way. You understand what I'm saying? It's saying that
I do.
That if they would have that voice, you know what I mean? They're literally breeding generations of idiots.
It's true.
But that's what it is.
Well, and all I can say to that is you referenced 6ix9ine. Look where 6ix9ine's at now. Completely irrelevant. No one wants to hear his music.
But that's because he finally got squeezed. One of them finally got squeezed. You know what I mean? So I mean, some of them are real, but it doesn't mean that the music is good.
No, you're right, and it's true, and it's a difficult conversation, and it goes into human psychology and why certain things resonate.
I know,
with
I'm just
certain
being a dick.
people.
I'm sorry.
No, you're solid, but it's an interesting thing to talk about. For me, at the end of the day, there's I know that it's more than just rapping. There's so many things that go into being an artist. Like even me having conversations like this, if I wasn't talking about the music, then it wouldn't resonate with as many people. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole science behind it. And again, like I'm just grateful that there's people that are willing to that are investing enough time to think about it, talk to me about it, and it's like perpetuating the narrative that this is worthwhile for people's consumption. So like that, just the fact that I'm in the conversation is all I can ask for.
No, that's great. Finding a niche in your own lane, in your own fucking, you know what I mean? It's great. Elevating, like look at Styles P, where they end up. They got their own lane, their own, you know what I mean? They're not
Exactly.
you know, they're not chasing the fucking stars, nothing. They are who they are. They say fuck everybody, and they're millionaires, and they're feeling fine.
Exactly. And that's it. And you know, that's the trajectory that I want to have for myself. And 10 years from now, I'm still doing this on a slightly bigger level and being able to support my kids off of it. And, you know, that's all
That's
I
awesome,
want,
bro.
you know, like that's it. I'm gonna continue pushing the line. As long as people keep pressing that play button, I'm gonna be hitting record.
Have you had rappers hit you up, producers hit you up to work with you since this, like to be on your next project? Anyone come
How
out
much
of the
is
blue?
a Lush verse?
How much is a
Yeah.
Lush verse?
I actually do. A couple people hit me up. I got a couple cool collabs coming up soon. I guess I'll just say one of them. I just did a record. Somebody put me and Crooked Eye on the same record. That's coming
Oh.
out soon. So
Oh, what?
that was
Good for
really
you.
dope.
That's a good fucking. That's a
And
good
just-
promo for sure.
What the fuck? That is
I
very
just,
nice.
Just did a joint with Mikey D from Main Source. You know what I mean? That was really tight too. Because I grew up listening to Main Source. You know what I mean?
How the hell did you get him?
We're actually label mates, and he he heard my Mad Deep record, was fucking with it, reached out and put
That
me
all
on
makes
his album.
sense.
So, and then I got actually DJ Starscream, the producer for the band Slipknot, just reached out to me, and we're gonna be getting down on some music as well. So
Whoa.
a lot of people have been hitting me up since that dropped. So I can only hope that it will continue to grow, and especially
So how much
people
is
that
a
are-
Lush verse?
Depends, you know what I mean? Like, it depends. Like I'm trying to get a rack, you know what I mean? But just I'm willing to work with people's budgets. I'll get a if you're on a label, I'll try to get like 2,500 from you. If you're independent, if you're independent, I'll go low. You know, I'm down to work. I love to rap. So if people want to rap with me, we can make it happen. Especially if it's cool, if it's somebody like, you know, just for example, someone like you asking me, then that price can come down a lot.
All right, we maybe talk, man, because I really like your album, and hopefully when you check my music, I just, not to show off or nothing, but I don't fuck around either.
Hell yeah.
So check it out. It's just I'm not. I keep looking for a person to produce my visuals the way I want to. You know what I mean? I went through like 4 people now. I'm sort of satisfied with the guy I'm with right now, but I'm still keep looking. You know what I mean? Once I get the visuals right, I think I got it, man. And this is my first project in English, and that's why I was shocked you got 8 producers or whatever. Because I got right now I'm just making an EP. It's 9 tracks. I got 3 people producing it, and I'm still struggling to keep the sound the same. You know what I mean? I'm going for what you got there already. You know what I mean? I'm trying to keep the sound similar, but it's hard because they're different people, right? And I don't have a sample.
And it's
pack or
not the
nothing.
same sound either.
Well, no, it's
To be clear, you're not
at
trying
the
to
end of the day.
replicate what
Not the
Lush
same
is
sound
doing.
as his.
No, I hear what you're saying.
I'm trying to keep
Okay,
the same
okay.
sound through the record. You know what I mean? So it is my own sound, but I'm trying to keep the same route sound through the record. And because like I have one dude who produced the core, like 4 or 5 records, and then the rest of it, you know what I mean? I have just accidental guys that just gave me beats. You know what I mean?
I think that, you know, just I hate to give advice, but all I can say is speak from the scope of experience of what I've done. What I did is I just made sure that I was unwavering in what I wanted aesthetically, and I wasn't going to settle for something that was outside of the box for my sound. And I was just made sure that I maintained the course.
That's the thing. I'm not, and I'm just having difficulties because I have limited amount of people that I'm working with. You know what I mean? So they can't make certain things. So I have to juggle and I have to fit in. It's, you know what I'm saying? I can't just tell him make me this beat and he makes it. You know what I mean? He just shows me what he's got. Is that kind of thing, you know what I mean? And I work with that, so it's a little more difficult. But I was just impressed that you have so many people with the same sound. That's what I'm saying, because it's so difficult.
All on the same page.
Yeah, all on the same page. Well,
it wasn't easy. I can't front. It was not easy.
Well, same sound engineer having the drums adding to each track and fucking with it like that will definitely.
That's a little cheat code. That's a little bit of sauce for you. Yeah, you could doing shit like that. Like that.
I just don't have. I haven't gotten there yet. Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm working with a guy who's actually making everything from a sample, which not a sample, sorry, but he makes everything through a plugin. Nothing simple. You know what I'm saying? And he makes dope ass beats, right? So right now, if anything hits, nobody's gonna touch nothing. Everything's mine.
That's right.
But yeah, it's, you know what I mean, and I've invested already. Like it's costing me at least $5,000, 3 videos I've made. You know what I mean? And I'm working, man, and hopefully you like it and we can talk about it, because I'm really impressed with what you got, with what you put out. I love Med
Hell
Deep,
yeah,
man.
bro.
Like I'm gonna literally bump that shit. You know what I mean? I fucking love Med Deep.
No, I love the passion, and I love the support. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? And it sounds like the fact that you're putting that much thought into it. Like a lot of artists nowadays aren't even doing that. They're not even. They're just taking beats that they think sound hot, rapping over them, and they're not even really. You can't even really call what a lot of people are doing is dropping albums, or like it's more just projects or a collection of songs. You know what I mean? There's no common thread.
No ebb and flow.
I'm so hungry to make music with somebody who's passionate about it. You don't even understand. I don't even know where to go, because I have friends and shit who are interested, you know what I mean? But there's no actual, like, a conversation I'm having with you, you know what I mean? I turned it into my show today because I don't have that, you know what I mean? And somebody who actually goes deeper into it, and like after I heard your album, especially, you know what I mean? I was like, this guy knows something, right? That's why this guy knows something.
Well, I think also a lot of it's where I'm from, growing up in LA. And just having, there's a lot more people to work with, you know what I mean? Like, I think that my biggest thing was, because it wasn't for a lack of options, but I still, like, it was who I chose to actually empower and put in position to work with me.
I fucking thrive for that. I need that, bro. If I would have a choice of fucking, buddy, I just worked with Times and Severe on one of the tracks for this EP, and I'm already growing. I've already seen what they've done, and I'm already picking something up. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
I need that. Like, and you know what I mean? It's like a healthy competition, right? Because you know what I'm saying? It's I don't know. That's how I thrive. I love that. I need that.
And that was like to me though, like that could be, having those options sometimes is like a daunting task, and you can make it's very easy to make the wrong decision, and which could cost. There's nothing more expensive than time, you can't buy that shit back at the end of the day. You feel me? Like, time's more expensive than a diamond flooded bezel on a Rolex. Like, you can't, there's nothing you could do about it. Like, so I had to make sure that I went the right direction. And I spent a lot of years, many years, going the wrong direction and experimenting. You could hear like a lot of my old music is more disjointed and like directionless, and isn't as, like it's not me. Some of it was good music, but it's not who I am. Like, and all the pieces need to come together, I feel like, between the image, like, and not just like, when I say image, I don't mean like necessarily just how you dress, but just the messenger has to match the message.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's why I can't get with a lot of shit that's out right now, because it's what are you saying, bro? You know what I mean? I can't, like, hopefully you go and listen to a couple of my songs, you know what I mean? And anything I say, I mean, I think fucking 3 times before I say something, you know what I mean? And I don't, like I said, I don't fuck around. I make sure it's like, you know what I mean? It's tight. And when I listen to some of the shit on the radio, you know what I mean? And that pops out, these teenagers and all that shit, popping all the shit that they don't mean. And then one of them gets squeezed and turns into a whole opera.
yeah that's like, and a lot of it's not only like the message has to be right, but the person that's conveying the message has to be the right person. Like, you could be somebody saying all the right shit, but like, it's not who people want to hear it from, and it's difficult, man. Like, and I felt like I've had those moments in my career too, where it's like, I'm rapping my heart out, I'm trying my best, but it's falling on deaf ears.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to really work.
It's timing. It's a lot of timing and a lot of consistency and a lot of work, right? I've reached certain heights in Russian rap. Like, I've been rapping for like 10 years. This is my first project in English, right? But I've battled in shit in MP3 and all that. But I have over 100 songs recorded. You know what I mean? Like, I know what I'm doing.
Right. All in Russian, yeah.
All in Russian, right? So now I'm switching. I know what I'm going through. I know I'm gonna be fucking hitting maybe 300 views on the first video. And you know what I mean? I know. But I know in 3 years, you know what I'm saying, this video will hit, because people will start listening sooner or later. because I'm certain that I have something. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a good
With all the
mentality.
shit
Yeah.
that's with all the shit that's popping, bro, I'm gonna get it one way or another. It's either gonna be the flow or the rhymes because I'm fucking at least mediocre at both of those.
No, I'm
Trust
sure
me.
you're better than that. I'm sure you're
No,
better
I'm
than
just
that.
saying, if we're talking real level, I'm not talking fucking Tekashi. I'm saying real rappers. I'm fucking, you know what I mean? I can hold my own in like medium level, man. Trust me.
Yeah, no, it's
And
I
that's
feel
the
you.
thing. That's what I'm saying. That's why I appreciate your project so much, because I understand how much work went through it. Flipping through tracks and listening to it, I understand that it wasn't easy, especially seeing produce. I'm like, what the fuck was this guy doing? Bouncing around the fucking
Yeah,
floor?
no, I know that could, when you look at the track listing, it could. But also, if you notice this, I had 3 features, on the whole 15 tracks. It wasn't like a bunch of. Now my EP that's coming out, I got Ilmac, Pass, other homies on there and shit like that. But for this is autobiographical.
That's a decent list to start with.
No shit.
Yeah,
My ears
yeah.
perked right up when he said those 2 names.
Yeah. I got some crazy shit with both of them on my next project, actually.
So how long are
that
you
I'm,
holding out until? How long are you letting this thing ride until you drop the EP?
That's going to be dropping in April. So
You don't
I'm hitting
fucking
them.
wait, eh? You just
I'm hitting motherfuckers over the head this year, bro. I'm not playing. I'm gonna be busting.
gotta
till
do
the
something
wheels
with all
fall
that
off.
energy and time that you waste now not being fucked up. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it is. Not
That's
to
what I
mention,
find
like,
difficulty with right now too, man. But I wish.
well,
You know what I mean?
the endorphins of getting like the response and the validation and connection that I get through my music.
Being
That's the
high
only
sober,
source.
right? Experiencing all of that shit. You went through that yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, like I write and rap better. Like, technically, when people hear the EP, they're gonna be like a super technical rap fans are gonna be like, wow, this is better because it's a step up from what I did on the HYAMS album. Absolutely. Like, I'm rapping better now because that was me when I was fucked up. This is me now when I'm fully clear-headed, fully dialed in, and I'm still have the same content and I'm able to flip it even better. But like, I'll still say there's something special about this project, as in, like, that's the last you're ever going to hear of me in my dysfunction, desperation, insanity. That's me in my darkest moment, and now you're just hearing me after I've broken through. So it's a whole different mode.
Let's go fan mode for a minute. Talk about our favorite songs. I know Amy's. I don't know if Amy's even awake anymore over there. I hope she is.
Where you
I know
at,
she
Amy?
has I know she's got a few, and I got a few, and I know one that Amy and I both shared already came up. Death Row's Respect for Biggie. That shit is just fucking. Oh my god! Like, I just have screw face the whole fucking time I listen to that shit. I feel like doing bad things, mean thugging. I feel like I'm listening to Endo Smoke by Warren G. back up the Poetic Justice fucking soundtrack. I love that shit. What are some
you
of
caught
your
the reference on the intro? I fuck with that.
Yeah, I know. What for you at the end of the day? What are the 1 or 2 that stand out to you that you really, really love? And I'm sure some are closer to your heart than others, right? Like, obviously the one about Caddy and everything, but for ones that just bump that you really like, it really came out well, you're happy with all of it. What's the 1 or 2?
I low key fuck with You See What the Fuck Going On, UCWTFGO. I fuck with that heavy because I feel like that's I don't know, I just like that vibe of that one, you know what I mean? And it's me kind of like delving deeper into all the topics that I address throughout the album and kind of give a different perspective on it. A lot of people have been saying they like Amends to My Mom and Dad a lot. I fuck with that one. I like First Day Bike. There's a lot of records on the album that really, they're all special to me. It's like you're essentially asking which one of your kids are the cutest. You know what I mean?
You can't have a 14-way tie or whatever it is, though.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, it's different moods. Like, for overall, though, I think, besides Mad Deep, 4 and a Baby, like, that was like the way I told that story. Like, that's man. Like, I feel like I really did that, and like I told the story exactly what I wanted to convey. It's all real shit. It's super grimy. It's street shit. It's actual experience from my life, and every single bar is a punchline and like has double entendres up the ass. So like, I can't, like, to me, like, that's damn near as good as I've rapped. You feel me?
Narcan is another one of my favorites. Athena is another one of my favorites.
Thank you.
Trying to think of else. There's another one I'm missing off the top of my head. And I know. Oh, what was it, Amy? You said you liked Jiggy, the
One Called Jiggy Day.
One Called Jiggy.
That's the first song on the album. That's kind of like that's like you start off a move like a film with like an action sequence, something that like hits him over the head. So what better thing to do than me ripping off my plug and not paying him back, and then getting a hit put on me, and then going under investigation and trying to like finesse the plug's girlfriend into fucking like it's shit that went through. So I had to. So when I start off with that, it like is engaging, and I felt like although there's way stronger songs than that, I felt like it was the perfect way to jump it off. I had to. That was the record to start it off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, but I thought Amy was gonna hop in here now. GP. Saint, that was your guy. You told us last time you were on with us. You talked about finding him real young, not grooming him so much, but Saint was you had a hand in raising Saint as a battle rapper. And
sure.
what happened?
Yeah,
how'd you feel?
It was super dope. I mean, I'm incredibly happy. I couldn't be happier. Couldn't happen to a more deserving person. He's a young legend. Love him as a person, as a battler. I'm glad that people are waking their game up to him. It sucks that Marv had to lose, and I'm as far as my opinion of the battle, like that's a whole different conversation. I'd have to really revisit it because I couldn't really make a definitive call right there. It was difficult. It was hella close. It was a nail biter, but Saint really, to see Saint win is a beautiful thing. And I'm really, really proud of him. And I think that this is just the beginning, and he's going to be stacking those ducats. This isn't just like a one-time bag for him. He's going to be, hopefully pretty soon he makes another bag that makes this one look minuscule. So.
Yeah. And well, I mean, I wasn't looking for your thoughts on the outcome of the battle or who judges decisions, anything like that, but I figured you'd be proud of Saint, especially after
very proud
last time. What did you think of the battle overall? Did you think it was lacking? Everything was good?
I mean, you can't really. I just, if anything, I feel like not enough people have seen it, and once it actually gets released to the public and people can absorb the full gravity of that moment, and I haven't even watched it since that day, so I'd have to. I just know that capturing the intensity, like I'm sure it translated well to video, and I'm sure that I know everyone that watched it thought it was an amazing battle, but the energy that was in that room, you can't duplicate or under any circumstance. It was like literally, it's like watching the Kumite, Chong Li versus Frank Dukes fighting to the death.
Like... Frank Dukes, that's a name. Oh shit! I actually know somebody that used to train with the real Frank Dukes, and all of it is bullshit. That whole story.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but it's a cool movie, right?
It's a great fucking movie, man. That's the type of shit I'm into. I still watch shit like that to this day. I watch 80s Seagal movies and Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, and even like the old Asian kung fu movies that are dubbed over and shit.
Oh yeah, Wolf and Cub and all that shit. Shogun's Assassin and Ricky Lee or whatever it's called, Ricky O. Yeah, that shit's fire.
And what'd you think about the title match, Sharon versus Real Deal?
Man, that's like the fucking it's like the white boy Loaded Lux first murder mook. You feel me? Like that was like that's like is pure. I loved it. You know what I mean? It's two warriors. It's a shame that there can't be two champions at the end of the day, because I love Trevor. I love Real Deal. He does an amazing job, and he definitely deserves to be the champion. But no one has more heart than Sharon, and no one, I feel like, would put more heart into repping the King of the Dot belt than Sharon. So at some point, if that belt ever has to be passed, because I don't see Trevor giving it up anytime soon, maybe Sharon will get it in the future.
Yeah, Sharon was gutted after that loss too. I've never seen Sharon take a loss like that. Lose?
Well, Saint is not that. That's a different belt. So yeah, I mean, he might. Who knows? But he will. Like, Saint is going to get a shot at the belt. So we'll see if if Trevor can hold it down against Saint, that might be where he loses it. I don't know. It's going to be tough either way. You got
that's
two.
the next one for Real Deal, or is there going to be one in between?
I believe that is the next one. I know that the A-Ward's a top contender as well, so he'll be brought into the equation very shortly. I know Pass is close to the belt as well, so we're going to see how it manifests.
The Saint Real Deal is the one to make, though. Saint was already talking trash about Real Deal after one of his wins during the GP. I think Saint versus Real Deal is the match to make, especially since there's no rematch. They've never met before.
Well, you got absolutely.
It's the one to make. We had Gully on last week, I think it was, and Gully was like, and we're talking. What is he like? The second in line to Organic? I mean, that's what it appears like. And he's talking about maybe A-Ward. He'd like to see A-Ward in there. I don't know.
A-Ward's for show in the mix.
He deserves 100%. It, but hey, Organic put it out there. The winner gets the next title shot, and it's already in the making. Saint already put it in the making.
Yeah, because what's Saint gonna do if he's not battling Real Deal, right? That's gonna be. I'm sure there's a lot of shit to do for him, but career-wise, this would be the fucking move to make, right?
No, I think that's probably the next move for show, and then maybe the winner of that'll get, if A-Ward still wants that belt, he's definitely the next in line. So he'll either be A-Ward versus Saint or A-Ward versus Real Deal, and maybe Pass will get the winner of that. There's a lot of exciting options coming up. We'll see how it manifests.
Yeah. And I know nobody's ever going to give us any news, but any news on the 2021 GP?
I would just say that it's coming sooner than you think, and be excited. It's not something that people think that they're gonna have to wait a long time. It's, we ain't gonna leave y'all hanging like before. Like that was we made it through the pandemic. I guess the pandemic's still popping, but we were still popping during the pandemic, so that ain't gonna change. We're not gonna let this momentum die. We already got the Twitch situation solidified. It's we're just trying to make it as big as possible for y'all. So it's it's hard when the fan base keeps getting hungrier and hungrier and more demanding. We can't just keep doing the same thing. We gotta step it up a notch every single time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you got me and Amy all excited last time when you were talking about Disaster versus Sharon is probably like at 35% chance of happening, and we might even see you in a Santa suit announcing it. And we're going into Christmas, and the GP finals are going to pick up in the new year. I was like, He's not saying it. He's not saying it's going to be there, but I feel real good. And then Sharon comes out with, I got a huge matchup announcement coming up. And I was like, oh my God, is it all coming together? And then you get Sharon versus Real Deal. How could you not be more excited? But there was still like a % of me that was fucking disappointed because it wasn't Sharon versus Diz. So now that Sharon did not beat Real Deal, what's the percentage at now of Sharon versus Diz?
37%.
37, it went up. Yes. I can live with
it. It went up, it's something that I want to make happen. I want to see happen. And just, Diz is kind of playing the cut, getting his mind right, plotting his next move and stepping it up. So as soon as he's ready, that's something that, Organic, myself, and all the powers that be, Gully and the whole team are all talking about. So
that will be fun. All right, before we let you get out of here, anything that we missed on the album, anything you wanted to speak on, anything you wanted to
I miss my girl Amy chiming in. I'm gonna need to.
I know she's been silent all night.
I think she she was so overwhelmed by excitement. She had a seizure and passed out.
She probably
I
overdosed.
can hardly handle the excitement.
There she is.
Oh.
I've been here this whole time.
Where was you at, man? Where your ass is at when I was slanging on the block? Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what's to be said that hasn't already been said a couple times, I will say I had to double check because vocally, Ricky Marv sounds a whole lot like Real Deal. And I was like, this dude got Real Deal on his album.
That's funny. I swear you're not the first person that said that. You're the second person that said that. That's crazy. So, no, that's my boy Ricky Mars. He's a good friend of mine as well as Caddy's. And he's actually we all used to wild out together back in the day. Now Ricky's got 2.5 years sober and has been been helpful since I've gotten sober and in recovery and shit like that. We've gone through a lot, and he's a part of the story, so I had to throw him on the album. That record, Narcan, was talking about we were talking about death and people going before their time, and just reminiscing on people that are no longer in our lives, whether or not they passed on, or just, like the age-old saying goes, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and sometimes people just fall out of your life. So it's kind of referencing all them, and then at the end, like I say, like the addict shooting up still won't die in vain, because Lush sing for you, because this is like everyone that couldn't make it, whether or not, but I wasn't just talking about people that died of addiction issues. My homie Young B, who got murdered, in broad daylight, shot in the back. Talked about him, talked about, obviously, like Nipsey and Kobe dying, talked about, Caddy, my boy XT and Kodiak, who both died of overdoses, and my homegirl Devin, who used to be a drug addict, who got sober and was walking across the street, like going to like an AA meeting to talk to a bunch of people, and got hit by a cop car and killed. You know what I mean? And I've dealt with a lot of death, a lot of different people that, PH, who died of health complications way before his time. And, and then at the very end, I talked about one of my best friends, Mia and Sophia, their father, Lou, who died in a tragic accident, and my homegirl Melanie's mother, Denise, Mama Stavis, who died in once again a tragic accident, unexplainable, way before her time, and wanted to kind of be a voice for all these people and let them know that as long as we continue to keep their memories alive, they're never gone. So that's what that song was about. It's like, it's like a second chance at life. Narcan is the drug that, if you're overdosing, can resurrect people and bring you back. So that's kind of what this is about. Like, we are resurrecting these people through us and through our song.
I mean, what better way to do it?
That's how it had to go down, Amy.
I particularly like that song. But aside from that, and what you guys have already been, speaking on, it's interesting to me listening to two people who know a little about music as somebody who doesn't fucking know anything about music, because I can see where the whole project sounds like there is continuity. I agree with that. Where I disagree is, like, I got really into certain songs because they gave me a different vibe. Like, I felt PP7 was heavy D12 vibes. I felt like Letter to Caddy had heavy Kanye production vibes. I didn't feel like it was like the same project in that way from track to track.
No, that's dope. But, and I'll say like this. It's all the same movie, but there's different scenes, and there's the whole entire, like, it's meant to take you on a journey. You know what I mean? Like, it starts out high energy, then it kind of sets the tone. Then you kind of go through my upbringing, my struggles during my earlier days. That's like PP7, Amends to My Mom and Dad, Death Row with Respect for Biggie. Then it kind of goes into what I was struggling with as I continued on my path. That's like, I ain't been the same since. That's fucking Professor X, records like that. And then it's like the eventual crash. People are dying. Narcan, Letter to Caddy, like things are getting out of hand. Then it's like a desperate plea for help to my parents, you know what I mean? Fuego and Mi Sangre, and then it's mad deep. Like, I've come out the fucking mud and here I am now. So there's a whole trajectory and a path and a storyline for the album. So it's not, and there's going to be different moods for different scenes, and that's exactly what it is. So, I'm glad that you brought that up, because it's true. It's all one vibe, but there's different energy throughout the whole project.
That's what it is. That's what I mean. Well, not the whole project sounds the same, right? It has a certain vibe to it throughout certain songs.
Well, one trajectory I did not see was going from Marshall Mathers to Bubba Sparxxx in the same verse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so put the white on the shelf like Bubba Sparxxx. I just thought that was the coldest. Like, you feel me? Like, I had to stop selling Coke. Bubba Sparxxx is white. He got put on the shelf. You feel me? Put the white on the and yeah, I would I would sell P's and profit more than 12 G's way before Joyner heard the Marshall Mathers LP. Like, you know, like way back in the day before this whole modern era of hip hop. And like, you know, because obviously Joyner Lucas is super, admittedly, very influenced by Eminem. You know what I mean? Like, so even back then in the fucking 90s, I was already fucking jugging. I was already selling dope. So that's what I was saying. But yeah, good references.
So I do have something that's non-music related, but before that, I want to know what possessed you on this particular one to go with your last name. I mean, that gives a whole new vibe.
That's a good question.
Self-titled as fuck.
No, good question. It's like kind of like I said in the beginning of the interview. I wanted to talk about things that were painful to me. Talk about things that were, it's first of all autobiographical, but beyond that, like things that I did. And, you know, I've professionally always used one of my middle names, Carletti, as my last name because I never liked my last name. And it always bugged me. And I used to get teased about it when I was a kid. So I just always kind of like had an aversion towards it. But I was like, what a perfect name for this album. Because this is like me. This is the most butt naked title I could possibly pick.
I hope the next project is titled Butt Naked.
I just did it. You feel me? Like I just did it. Can't get more into it. The only thing I could do now is put a fucking potato peeler to my skin and just skin myself raw so you can see my internal organs.
Well, so that's a perfect, what I was about to ask, actually, transition. You know, you talk a lot on shows, at events, in your music about your life and about what you've gone through and especially this last project, right? What is off limits for your music? Like what is there or is there anything that you or a person that is like off limits? You won't mention, you won't speak on, it'll never be there, don't ask, don't expect it. Like, is there anything?
I would like to think no, because the more emotionally raw and open and honest I am, to me that's what makes artwork great, and it's what makes human beings healthy. And like the more honest I am, the more I can connect with people through my art. People, whether or not when artwork doesn't connect with people, it's often because whether or not the artist, whether or not the listener is aware of it or not, there's something that's not being honest. There's something disingenuous that's being conveyed, and people see through it. Like anytime I'm being myself, being real, the art resonates more. When I was in treatment, we had to do these things called vulnerabilities, where we shared like the deepest, darkest, most embarrassing secrets, things that I wouldn't even want to say out loud. You have to say them to all the people you live with and all the counselors there. So it's like 25 people. And I'm like talking about things in my past that are really painful. And people like, you know, like I didn't go through some of the things that other people went for, but I didn't judge anybody else for what they went through. And when I heard those vulnerabilities, like it made me feel closer to them, whether or not, because some of these people went through crazy shit. They're talking about fucking, you know, like fucking beating their wives or fucking being molested when they're kids. Like, you know, I haven't gone through that, you know, but I've gone through my own crazy shit, which we've all gone through gnarly ass shit, which we repress and we're holding on. And like that, getting rid of that baggage, I don't think I would still be sober if I didn't get rid of some of those things and share some of those experiences. So to take that to my music is huge. And not only that, me also, like, I don't think I'd be sober at this moment if I wasn't spreading the knowledge and spreading the experience of what I've been through and how I'm doing better now. Like that's like, you know, like if I just kept it to myself and didn't give it away, then I don't think I would still be on this path. So that's like a huge part of my recovery is carrying that message, you know?
So in the same vein, no pun intended, actually, we've got Nikki Sixx's Heroin Diaries. When are we getting Lush's Everything Stories?
What does that entail? Is that just like a blog or some shit? Is that
no? You wrote a book, man.
Oh, the book. Okay, I heard about Nikki Sixx's book. You know, like this. The closest thing you're gonna get to a book from me is this music right now. So anybody that wants a book, like just pretend this is an audio book and treat it like that, because it's the same. It's the same thing, you know, except for it just like rhymes a lot better.
Okay,
it sounds cooler. It's like hard to do that and make it sound cool, and hopefully I accomplish that at the end of the day.
Would you? I mean, I know I asked you before about why don't you podcast since you have a lot to say. Would you blog or guest blog? I mean, is that something you like the writing part of writing music, or do you just like the expression of getting your feelings out?
No, I'm down for whatever. I'm open to all different modes of creative expression and things like that. And I do so many different nowadays, especially, and I got like literally fucking 15 interviews coming up. None with battle rap outlets, all with just like hip hop media and shit like that. So it's I love talking about whatever. So I'm definitely down. I just, as far as my own outlet, I don't really have a desire for that at the moment, but who knows, I don't want to wind up biting my tongue.
Also, you just mentioned battle rap again. I know we were talking Grand Prix and stuff. What is the Anarchy premiere? Is that like an actual partnership, or like what's the setup with that?
With premiere battles?
Yeah, I mean, I know the Anarchy, the UK Grand Prix type bracket setup. It's going to be on the Twitch channel.
So
is it a partnership? Or?
No, like we work with them, you know what I mean? It's definitely a partnership. Like shouts to Shoddy and them, you know what I mean? They got their own, they've had their own vision in their own lane for a long time, and they're going to continue to do it. And we share a lot of the same fans, and they're brothers of ours. So why not utilize our platform to help bring more awareness to them? And it's kind of like we're swapping fans like we always have. And like, they're the closest international league to us. And, Shoddy's my dog. We got music back in the day. Look up our song Trapavelli on SoundCloud. So, it makes perfect sense to fuck with those dudes, because they're class acts, and they have an incredible product. They're the battle that they just put out, the Soul versus Shuffle T, is an incredible battle. And what's funny about that is they asked me to judge that, and I had to turn it down. I was, I don't think this is good for my sobriety to judge this battle. Like, this is gonna be too stressful for me.
Speaking of Shuffle T, have you been watching his podcast at all?
I fuck with, Shuffles. He's the homie, and he's a great dude. I need to tap in with his podcast and the game show.
Bro, you need to be on the show. You would be so amazing.
I don't want to make them all look bad, but no, I'm just playing. I might hop on there at some point. We'll see. It's a dope ass. The clips that I've seen are amazing, and everything he's involved with is really dope. Like, my biggest problem with him is he's giving away so much sauce as far as rhyming, but as far as like the rhyming techniques that I employ, and the other homies from 667, the way that we rhyme, we're already past. Just like we do slant rhymes. We're on a whole other level of rhyming now. Not saying we're better than that, but better than the sauce that he's giving away to the peasants. You know what I mean?
Mm. Okay, Lush. You've given us now, I think we're over 5 hours total. So we're gonna let you get the hell out of here.
Boy.
Let's give everyone, like you said, there's a release date, which isn't, the Bandcamp pre-release, where they can find it. Everything else, let them know.
Lush1.com, you feel me? Or lush1.bandcamp.com if you want to support directly. All the money is being used to feeding my family, my fiance and myself, as well as working towards getting some vinyl and some cool merch pressed up for the people. That's like the real goal with this thing. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate each and every one that's been buying it and will continue to do it. It means so much. And then on the 26th and after that of February, it'll be on your streaming service of choice. So run it up, enjoy it. Hit me up. Any questions you got. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And by the way, when I said peasants, I didn't mean like actual like peasants begging in the street. I meant like civilians, regular human beings, mortals. That was a very harsh word, so had to clarify that.
Well, the rooster is in the streets, and that's what's important.
Oh yeah. The rooster is on the prowl, holding down the fucking cipher. Bro.
He's out the coop.
He's out the coop. You feel me?
Out the coop. Thank you again for joining us. Oh, sorry. What are you going to say?
No, out the coop in the convertible, baby.
Thanks again for joining us, Lush. Obviously, we're going to be doing this more and more and more as time goes on. Everyone,
man, I love y'all. Anytime I'm with y'all, just know that I'm in the building.
Shit. We like it. We love it. For
I
Lush
appreciate you
One.
guys.
Lush One, Kirill Kasatskiy, Amy Barton. I'm Jay Kelly. This is the Building Downtown. We out.
Building downtown. Building downtown. Building downtown.